Hi everyone, I hope you're all well today. I hope you've got something good planned for your weekend. My weekends are slow and quiet, and that's the way I like it now. Gone are the days where, yeah, gone are the days where we would be out clubbing till 4 in the morning. Yeah, good memories to keep. So I hadn't planned on making this video today, but after reading a couple of poems on WordPress yesterday, I wanted to come on and talk about mental health today. Not abuse, but I want to talk about mental health. You all know that I write. My writing is very deep. It is always very, very deep. I don't know any other way to write apart from deep. I did post a poem a couple of days ago, a haiku called Lavender Love, and I think probably everybody was quite surprised by it because they're so used to me doing the deep and meaningful stuff. I would like to throw this question out to everybody or ask this question, that which kind of poetry would you prefer? Would you prefer the butterflies and the rainbows and the uplifting poetry, or would you prefer something that you can connect to and something that you can resonate with because you have been through it yourself? Me personally, I would rather read raw and real, and for a very long time I was actually afraid to post anything that was raw and real. I was scared about what kind of reaction I would get, and I sort of stopped doing it. But I think if you do that, that you're not being true to yourself. You're not being true to yourself, and you're not being true to yourself if you try and write something that's got a fancy bow on it and wrapped in gold paper. You have to write. There's no better writing material than your life experiences, and that is what I draw on for the most part when I write. Not always, but I would say probably that more than 50% of what I write I have drawn from something that I've experienced in my lifetime. I'm just happy if I can write one poem a day. I used to be able to write 4 or 5, and it's tailed off considerably since then. But I feel that with anything that covers mental health and anything that is written about, I've said this before, it's not easy to read. It's not easy to read, but if the person is feeling like that at the time, then they have to write that out, and it's a good way of getting it out and not keeping it all bottled up, because as far as your mental health goes, if you keep anything bottled up and stored inside your head, it's not for anybody that suffers from depression, your mind can be your worst enemy at times, and the thoughts that run through your head are not the best. As I say, luckily I am at the moment, for whatever reason, like I don't know the reason. I'm putting it down to the fact that I got it all out my system with that book, but I really don't know. But I just feel like my head is calm. I'm not getting intrusive thoughts. I'm not overthinking. I'm not. Everything is just, yeah, and it's lovely. It is so lovely to feel like that. But going down the rabbit hole with mental health, I think it is very easy. It is very easy as a society, or the society as a whole would have you believe that everyone is living a perfect life and they're all living the dream. If you watch social media, even on here, it's all make believe. None of it is real. None of it is real. You know what I mean? It's just all make believe. And no, it's just for attention, and it's for this and that. When people talk about their mental health, or they write about their mental health, it's the same as writing about abuse. It's a very brave act to do so, because you never know. And that's one of the reasons why at first I was cautious with regards to that, because I look at other, for the best part, most people they either write about, the lovey-dovey stuff, or they followed a prompt, which I've spoke about before, where you get an image to work with and you write what that image inspires in you, or you're given a sentence or one word and then you make a poem from that. And I think that for the best part, that is probably what most people do, what I see on WordPress. But for somebody to write about their mental health, I think, again, as I say, it's a very brave act, because it's hard going reading it. But if you read it and you don't feel, this is the biggest point I want to make, is that if you read that and you don't feel any kind of compassion, understanding towards the person that has written it, then there is something deeply wrong with you, not with the person that wrote the poem. There is something deeply wrong with you, because we are all human, and every one of us has a story to tell, and we all have a history. Everyone has gone through something that has changed their life forever. And for some people, they never come back from that, sadly. They're not able to claw their way out of the wreckage or of whatever it was that went wrong, whether it be losing a loved one, a partner, a wife, a husband, and some people never come back from that. And that does not make them a bad person. It does not make them any less of a human being. even your homeless person on the street has got a story to tell. I would think that a lot of homeless people have at one time had a good job, paying a good salary, and then for some reason maybe they couldn't cope with the stress of the job because it was so high powered, or they broke up with their wife or anything, and now they've lost everything. And it happens, but it doesn't mean that they are a failure or a less of a person, because we have to remember that we are all human. We are all human, and life did not, when we were born, ejected or torn from the womb, we were not given, nobody gave us a little book and said, this is the way you're supposed to live your life. They didn't. And we can only learn through our mistakes. And sometimes it takes more than one lesson to learn. It did with me. It did with me. And therefore the grace of God go high. I could have went in, the direction of taking drugs or taking alcohol to cope with what I was going through. And I had lots of different life events that actually occurred in a short space of time. I mean, even during that period when I was with my partner who abused me, I lost both my parents. And losing a loved one is up there with the most stressful life events that you can get. I also, during that period, or probably when I came out of that period, but as I've explained, he was still in the background, I also had to move house twice, which again is up there. So I could have went down the route of never being and never wanting to, and being so far down with it. But there has always been this thing in me, and I don't know what it is, but there has always been this thing in me that I must get back up. I must get back up. I must get back up. I must get back up, and I do, and I have. But I'm not decrying anyone who, for whatever reason, is not able to get back up. I'm not. I give them my compassion, and I try not to judge. I'm not, a judgmental person. I know there's a lot of judgmental people in the world, but I try not to judge. The only time I would judge somebody would be if they were inflicting their pain, what they were going through, back on to me. Then I would not like that. But we have to remember that we are all human. And if somebody wants to write about it, then I think they're very brave for writing about anything which has caused them a lot of pain. Whether it be they're going through mental health or abuse or anything like that. We have to show people compassion. We have to show people empathy. And if you read something and it doesn't stir any kind of, empathy towards them, then there's something that's sorely lacking in you, I'm afraid. You're not, because you know what? We're only separated by degrees. We are only separated by degrees. And the person that's in a high-powered job today and earning megabucks could have a heart attack or a stroke tomorrow. Boom. It's all gone. It's all gone. And I think we should bear that in mind before we make judgment calls and before we think we're better than anyone else because we have a big house or we wear diamonds on our fingers. Something to think about, isn't it, really? I'm going to read, no, I have enough managed, but, I'm going to read this one poem from Pieces of Me today. And this poem, I don't think I've made a short from it. I don't think I've read it before. And it's called Roots of Pain. We are not obliged to share the root of our pain with everyone we meet. But be assured if we show you the point of entry, in you we place our trust. Never turn your face the other way or shake your head in disgust. The wound is still painful to touch, yet we have abandoned our fear of rejection, hoping you see past the scar. We are who we are. An unhealed wound is merely skin, waiting to be touched, waiting to be kissed. So ease your lover's pain with a soft caress and water the roots with love. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. That is what you have to do in all instances, within reason, unless the person is, as I say, directing their pain onto you. That's where I draw the line. 20 minutes again, but I'm not going to apologise because these things are important and these things matter to me. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. It looks like we've got crappy weather coming in again tomorrow. Strong winds again. Really? As always, thanks for being here. I hope I don't bore you to tears, but I can't do shallow and I can't do stuff that's, like, I just can't do it. It's just the way I am. You take it or you leave it, you know what I mean? Or you go subscribe to a channel that shows you how to do your makeup, I think. Thanks for being here and take good care. Thanks for all the views, the likes, everything. I do appreciate it. and I will see you next week. Bye for now.